This is Lonnie B on My Sister's Keeper, coming with you tonight. We have a lot of entertainment for you, and I'll go ahead and let my co-host tonight introduce herself to you.
Hi, I'm Danita.
And of course, we have Deandra and Tawanika, who's not here tonight, but we do have a special guest tonight who will be airing on tonight with us, and we'll actually introduce them momentarily. So once again, we are My Sister's Keeper, SiSSTA'S, yes. So last week we talked about, we closed out our Chronicles of Know Your Worth, and this week we'll be opening up our new Chronicles on moving forward and not looking backwards. And we'll talk about, on the second hour, we'll be talking about who am I, getting to know the real you. And so, y'all see I was looking at the wrong camera, so they had to tell me to look at the right camera, so y'all actually can see me now. So, but we definitely want to do a shout out to the Willises, who actually are the owners of Power Play Radio. Without them, there would not be any of us, so we do thank them for the opportunity. Of course, we always thank you, our listeners, and our loyal fans who actually tune in every first and third Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. to watch us and listen to us. So we thank you once again. To all of our supporters, we thank you as well. And of course, Deandra and Tawanika, we miss you tremendously, and we'll see you, December 2nd, unless we do something before, December 4th.
December 4th.
Unless we do something before then. So once again, we're running the duo out of the 4-0 tonight. You know a little bit about our topic. But tonight, we actually are going to we have a special lady who is from Dallas.
Yes.
From Dallas. It's Nicky Hawkins, who is the founder and owner of Sonya's house. And also, we have her on tonight, who's also going to share a little bit about her book that she just recently released. It's My Sister's Story, and I'll let her elaborate on that in a few moments. But also we have our daughter Destiny. So we'll be talking to them a little bit both. We actually brought them on tonight because December the 1st is World AIDS Day. And it's not just for those who are infected with HIV/AIDS that we actually give honor and recognition to. But we also give it to all those who have been affected by it as well. It not just impacts the person who's been diagnosed with it, but also those who live in that environment or who actually are their extension of their support system. So we did want to bring Sonya on. She is a Dallas native. I'm sorry, we're bringing Nicky on, not Sonya. Sonya on, we got some problems. I mean, she's here in spirit, but if she comes back, we're going to have some issues. But we do want to introduce Nicky, so we'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Nicky Hawkins. I am the founder of Sonya's House. Sonya's House is a transitional home for women living with AIDS, HIV.
Okay, and then Miss Destiny.
My name is Destiny. I'm Nicky's daughter. I'm the oldest. I have a brother. I'm a nursing student at UTA, so I'm going to school for nursing.
Yes. So what year are you in, Destiny?
It's my junior year, but I'm not going to apply to the program until this coming up spring.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell y'all also, it's really interesting. 2016, I decided to actually re-image myself. And that's actually how I found Nicky at first, because at that time she was actually a consultant, and you may still be, to actually help women redefine themselves and actually she helps them match their fashion.
I help business women create their own signature style.
So that's how I came to know her, and then here we are full circle again when I found out about Sonya's house, and I was looking, I was like, oh, well, that's her, okay. So tonight we're here not to talk about fashion. I'm still a work in progress, but did you shake your head yes?
Because I too
am
a work in progress.
I see her over here nodding, y'all, and I'm like, what?
Fashion is the first love, okay?
Yes,
Fashion is the first love.
So y'all heard that fashion is her first love. So if you need to help you change your business attire or your business presentation, please
change your image in order to change your income.
Oh, that might be another topic.
Change your
image to change your income. So, but tonight we're going to talk about Sonya. So, Nikki, can you tell us a little bit about how you came about, or share with us just a little bit about the journey that took you from the point that when your sister was diagnosed?
So you want me to give a little bit about my book?
Oh, well, no, don't tell. So this is her book, y'all.
It's on Amazon.
It's a quick read. It's on Amazon. And it's really, really good. And if nothing else, please support those who are local. Support those who are in town as they embark on, sorry y'all, I'm getting over being sick. Even as they embrace their journey and being able to share their own personal testimony, not just for them. You know, I always say that sometimes you share your testimony as your own self-healing, but it's also for the helping of other individuals. So please be sure to get it. I'll post the information, which has already been posted on my Sister's Keeper group page. So we'll definitely talk about that. But Nikki, tell us a little bit about what you want us to know without exposing the book. Because it's a quick read, y'all, so it's not like it's going to take you all week, all month. It may take you, take you a few days. But I'm going to stop before I start going on a coughing phase, and I'm going to let Nikki talk a little bit about her book.
Okay. My sister's story, and it's titled "Once Was More Than Enough," and it was titled "Once Was More Than Enough" is because my sister had intercourse with this guy only one time and contracted the virus from him, not knowing until he passed away that she was positive. Because when she found out that he passed away and what he passed away from, she got tested. So when she went in and got tested, she found out that she was HIV positive and only slept with him one time. So it only takes one time, and that's what our young people don't understand. Not only our young, but older people too. But our young people are is the highest rate of HIV from ages 13 to 19 and 20 to 24. So
okay, and so throughout that process, from you finding out how, if it's not in your book, can you tell us how did that impact you internally?
Wow, me and my sister was close. My sister was my best friend. So without telling the book, it impacted me because I didn't know that she actually slept with this guy because we was real close because she kept telling me that she didn't, that she didn't sleep with him. And, to find out later on when that happened that she did, who she contracted it from, that she did sleep with him, that was, I felt a little betrayed because she kept a secret from me. I was the baby. We 8 years apart, but we was really close, My sister, my sister and my mom was really, really close. So my sister was my best friend.
Wow. So did it alter your relationship because you said you got mad because you were deceived? So you just had a temper tantrum like us babies do? Okay.
Yeah. I just kept asking, but you said you didn't sleep with him. And she was like, but I did. I said, no, how did you? No, because you told me you didn't. And then she hollered at me. She was like, well, I did, Nikki.
And that was it, right? So leading up towards the end of her final days, was it at that point when you thought about doing Sonya's house?
No.
So how did the birthing of Sonya's house come about?
The birthing of Sonya's house came about 3 years ago, actually. I always gave back in honor of my sister. I did walk. I donate in honor of her. And for the past 3 years, going on 4 years, I do a toy drive for kids living with AIDS HIV because my sister was in education. So, and she was a teacher, and her passion and her love was kids. So I wanted to, that came about because I wanted to do something in remembrance of her. And so I said, okay, what can I do? So I thought about the babies that's living with HIV, doing a toy drive for them every year. And so that's what I started doing. And 3 years ago, God came to me and spoke to me and told me this is what he wanted me to do. Well, Sonya's house. Well, that he wanted me to house individuals living with HIV. And I didn't want to. That wasn't what I wanted to do. So my testimony is like really long. So I wrestled with that. I wrestled with it for 3 years actually. And up until last year, I was hospitalized due to stress and stomach ulcers because I wrestled with that in peace. Nobody knew. My mom didn't know. My kids didn't know. Nobody knew what I was dealing with. I was dealing with God telling me to do one thing, but I had a whole different lifestyle that I was living. I had Style by Nicky. I had a full-time job. I was living life, kids in college. I was enjoying myself. I was traveling. I was doing me.
Right.
And so when he told me what he wanted me to do, and then he told me that he wanted to, I was asking God, how you expect me to do this? And he told me, I want you to house them in your home. And I was like, house them in my home? But where am I going to go? And he said that, don't worry about it. I got you. So I wrestled with it. He told me that he came to me one day. I was sitting in my office, and he told me that it was the last time he was going to come to me with it.
Wow.
And when I got sick last year and I was in the hospital, that's when he came to me and said there's warning before destruction.
Oh.
And all I could see was my sister's face when I was laying in the hospital bed. And I remember her laying in the bed all the time, rocking back and forth, crying and asking God to heal her body. I was doing it and didn't notice that I was doing that. Sitting in the bed, rocking, crying. And then when he told me that there was warning before destruction, instantly in my mind I said, I won't be able to handle the whooping that he has for me, that he will give me if I don't do what he tells me to do. So he told me that he wanted me to step down from my job. I went through a whole battle with him on that, but eventually I stepped down. He wanted me to quit my job, but I had to, okay, God, we got to compromise. We got to do some compromising here. But what he did was he gradually took those hours and that time down to nothing.
Wow.
So he basically forcing me out the door. So after last year, when I got out the hospital and I realized that it was him and that he was moving and I had to move the way that he wanted me to move or it was going to be a disaster. So I got my 501c3. It didn't take but 2 weeks to get it.
So you knew it was his plan.
Yeah, everything, the way it all unfolded, I knew it wasn't nobody but him. So I started looking for somewhere else to move. Kids didn't know what was going on. Kids came home one day, their bed was gone, whole bedroom sets was gone. Everybody is kind of like sleeping on air mattress, sleeping on the couch, and my daughter, this is the brat of the family, so I had to remove her stuff last because my son, he was like, oh, I gotta video this when she come home. You see that her bed is gone. So when she came home, she walked in her room and she was like, where's my bed? I was like, it's in the garage. She did not even have a fit like we thought that she was going to have a fit. So I just told my kids, if I got to be uncomfortable, everybody got to be uncomfortable. Because God is moving me in a different direction. I don't know what he's doing in my life, but all I know is I have to move.
Hold that thought, because we're going to talk about that direction when we come back. Got to pay some bills. You know that. So everyone who's joining, please stay. And those who are on Facebook, you'll go to a music silence, but please stay as we are talking tonight with Nicky Hawkins of Sonya's House, who also has wrote her book, which has already been released, book signing on December the 2nd. First and the 2nd of My Sister's Story. So don't go away. Y'all know the routine. Got to pay some bills. Go ahead, go to the restroom, get your beverage, come back, cuddle up on that couch because it's cold outside, and we'll be right back. So please stay with us. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are My Sister's Keeper, and I am Alonda.
And I'm Danita.
I am Tawanika.
And I am DeAndrea.
Y'all see who showed up? Yay! Yay, DeAndrea, Tawanika. So we are My Sister's Keeper, SiSSTA'S. Yes. So we were here tonight, and before we went to break, we were talking to Nicky Hawkins, who is the owner the founder of Sonya's House, and who is just released her first book, which talks about her sister's story, which is My Sister's Story, Once Was More Than Enough. And we were talking to her a little bit before we went to break, and she was sharing with us about how her journey began from the time that she and her family found out that her sister was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS, as well as up to the point of the days prior to her sister expiring, and then the journey after. So when we left, we were talking about how God had dealt with her, and while she was in the hospital, a bunch stressed because of her disobedience, y'all. She was her disobedience. God, had to put her in that hospital room and had to deal with her. But through that whole process, He gave He gave her specific instructions. And in those instructions, one was to give up her home. That was a home for her and her children, if I'm correct. And so, and He gave her specific instructions, and we left off who's with her tonight, the baby of the family, Miss Destiny. She's the oldest, y'all. So she's the oldest, who was the last one to come home and find out that there was no furniture in her room.
I'm the bread.
She's the oldest brat in the family. But Nicky has been sharing with us, and so just talk a little bit more about once you transitioned your home into where you are today.
So eventually I moved out. Well, I had I moved out, and I wasn't ready to move out because I ended up moving back in the same place that I took care of my sister in. So the same place that I lived in before my sister passed away, I moved back into that house. And I wasn't ready to move back there. So it took me a while, like a month and a half, that I was paying rent and paying the mortgage over at Sonya's house, because I wasn't ready to transition back there. And because I kept asking God, why are you taking me back here?
Right.
And his thing was he had something that he wanted to birth from me. He had something else that he wanted to birth out of me. And I was like, well, that's not the way to do it. Why are you going to take me back, to where all these memories were created, back to that same place. And one day, my son came out because I would stay over at Sonya's house and sleep on the couch. And wasn't nobody there yet because I hadn't had the grand opening yet. So my son came over there and he was like, Mom, it's time for you to go. This is not your place anymore. You need to pull it together and go home. And I was telling him, I'm not ready to go home yet. I'm not ready. You can't tell me, when I'm going to transition. This is my house. I pay the bills.
Right.
So he was like, but you are moving in another direction, so it's time for you to let this go. And so eventually, I think 2 weeks later, I decided that, okay, it's time for me to go. So I moved. I finally took all my little stuff that I did have there and moved back to the other place. And I did my grand opening on July the 27th, which is my sister's birthday, and that was her 50th birthday. So it was like a big celebration. It was the grand opening. It was her birthday, balloon release, and I did it on her birthday because I wanted it to be a new beginning for the women that come into Sonya's house. So it's new birth, new beginning, because it was the day that she was born. Because she died July the 18th, and her birthday is July the 27th. So I did it at first I had it planned for July the 18th. And I thought about it, and I changed the date. I said, no, I'm going to do it on her birthday because that's a celebration, the day that she was born. So we did it on July 27th. That was her 50th birthday, and it was a big turnout. It was a big celebration to celebrate her 50th birthday and also to celebrate the new beginning of all the ladies that come into Sonya's house.
Okay. And so Sonya's house opened. Sonya's house has been in existence for how long now?
Since it's been open, it was open July the 27th was the day. If somebody wanted to move in July the 27th after that grand opening, they was welcome. Come on in.
So, in what year was that?
That was this year, actually.
This year. Okay.
2017.
And so I watched you go from fashionista to SiSSTa'S house director, and it seems like it has just blossomed very quickly. You have been traveling all over. You've done a grand opening of SiSSTa'S house. You've written your book. Your marketing is awesome. And then you just recently came back from Atlanta?
Yes.
And what was going on in Atlanta?
I went to a conference. It was HIV in African American women. Because African American women is the highest in HIV right now. And so they did a big summit on, because we are the least ones to get help. And we are the least ones to want help. We don't, most women in HIV don't, the stigma. So they don't want to talk about it, or they don't want to, what I call live out loud, letting others know their status. So we live they live secret. You know, they don't want nobody to know what's going on with them. Either you don't go to the doctor, or you go to the doctor, but you don't want your family members to know exactly what's going on with you. So they talked a lot about that, and it was all kind of women from all over the world there. There was women that was positive, that was very open about their diagnosis, and a lot of the women that was there that was positive, they was diagnosed from they found out that they was HIV positive, and it was given to by their husband.
Oh, wow.
Most of them, or the guy that they dated, because the man that they was dating or the man that they was married to was living a separate life.
And when you say separate life, another woman or another man?
Another man, MSM.
So is that the highest statistic today?
Yes,
And what is MSM?
men sleeping with men.
Men sleeping with men. And so they don't know because they never go get tested, or had they been tested?
They didn't know. Most men don't know, because most men are the last ones to go to the doctor. They don't want to go to the doctor.
Or are they still closet? So these are closet men who are still in the closet,
Right.
and so therefore they wouldn't even go anyways,
Right.
because they're in denial. with
They're in
the
denial.
lifestyle.
Their alternative lifestyle. Wow. And so from that conference, what was that was the overall, was to talk about statistics, the women to actually get to know each other, to build networking?
Yes, that was the first conference that they had in Atlanta. That conference, it was at Morehouse. So it was that was the very first conference that they brought about with African American women and HIV and African American women.
That are infected, or they didn't have to be infected?
They didn't have to be infected, but it was a lot of them that was there, and there was a lot of them that wasn't there.
Okay. So bringing it closer to home when you talk about, excuse me, I would say with that somewhat of a resource outlet or a networking to where you know that there are other individuals who have a passion or who are infected or affected by HIV/AIDS. Is there anything in Dallas that's similar to that outside of Sonia's house?
Yes, it's a lot of organizations.
They can always call Sonia's house to
They
get
can
that
always call
information.
Sonya to get that information. But if you want to get tested, or you looking for education, or if you HIV positive and you're looking for counseling, or you're suicidal, anything, depression, you can call Sonya's house. I have all the connections, who you need to talk to. I'll walk you through the whole thing. I'm not gonna just give you a number and drop you off or whatever you need. I get up in the middle of the night taking calls down.
So you're not only just for those who are infected, but also those who are affected.
Right.
Okay. And so we'll come back to you in a minute, but I want to talk to Miss Destiny. Miss Destiny, you were how old when your aunt passed away?
I want to say I was 10 years old when my aunt passed. I was actually at my dad's parents' house, but my other grandma, I was in my grandmother's room, and she came and she sat on the bed, and she's like, your aunt passed away, and I was only 10, so I really didn't know too much of what was going on. But I just know that my aunt passed, and I had a funeral that I had to go to.
And so now you are
24.
24, nursing student.
Mm-hmm.
Was your sister's journey and your mother's journey somewhat, was a tour guide for you to actually embrace becoming into the nursing program?
No, actually, I have a sister that is about to be 17. She's the reason why I wanted to be a nurse. When she was born, I went to the hospital to see her, and it just came to me that I wanted to be a nurse.
Well, the Lord and y'all in the hospitals, y'all when you need guidance, just go to the hospital. There you go. Okay, and so watching your mom go through this journey, I mean, you actually was with you and your siblings going through your mom through the stages of grief. What kind of impact did that have to you and your siblings?
Well, my brother, it impacted him different because he was closer to my aunt. I wasn't too much close to her, so the whole process kind of really didn't, affect me like it did the rest of my family members. But as I got older, the thought stayed in my mind, oh, my aunt died from, complications of AIDS, HIV. So it helped me to educate myself and to be more mindful of the things that I do when I got older.
Okay.
And so I educate the people my age around me from what I have learned and experienced.
Okay. We actually have someone who wants to call in. That's why I was trying to get D. Can you put in the number? Mark, we're going to give you the number to call in. Mark, it's 972
730-4322.
972-730-4322.
4322.
4322. Okay, Mark. So, we're going to wait for you to call in. And I don't know if that question is going to be for Nikki or for Destiny. But, and so, so for those who are new with joining us, we're live. We do everything live. It's like sitting on your couch and you're just sitting amongst friends and you're talking and conversating. So we do our best to articulate, but if something happens, we always stop because we also want to make sure that you, our listeners, also have an active input and invite in. So we'll be waiting on Mark to call, but while we're waiting on Mark to call, we got to pay another bill, y'all. And so we'll be right back. For those who are on Facebook, it will go to silence, but please do not leave us. We'll actually be right back on momentarily. So if you'll just give us a few moments, we're going to go pay that bill and we'll be back. And once again, please don't leave us. can hear us now, right?
Alright, okay.
Okay.
So we,
So can you all hear us?
we believe the same.
Yeah, you can hear us. Nikki, I do apologize, but we're going to have to press pause. We're going to have to press stop and rewind a little bit. Can you just tell us a little bit about your book signing on this coming up Friday and Saturday?
December the 1st is the first day. That is World AIDS Day. I decided to do my book signing on World AIDS Day because Sonya's House is a transitional home for women living with AIDS HIV. And so that will be held at 712 North Main Street in Duncanville at a Friend's Closet Boutique. And that's from 4 to 7. And then we're going to do December the 2nd from 12 to 3, same location. We'll have hors d'oeuvres there, and you can come and do some shopping. And we also have a toy drive going on for kids living with AIDS, HIV. So please stop by and bring an unwrapped toy. Even if you don't come by to purchase a book or come by to get your book signed, please stop by and drop off an unwrapped toy for a kid living with AIDS, HIV.
So you're still doing the unwrapped toy drive?
Oh yeah, that's gonna
Always
forever
be.
for Children's Hospital. That's gonna always be. That's gonna always stand.
Good. So for you all, I know that there was an echo, so if you did not hear, Nikki will be having her book signing at Hidden Treasures.
A Friend's Closet.
I'm sorry, look, I done gave it a whole new location. It's going to be a Friend's Closet.
A Friend's Closet Boutique.
A Friend's Closet Boutique at 712 North Main Street, December the 1st, that's Friday, from 4 to 7 p.m. and on Saturday, December the 2nd, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. But if you are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and they want to purchase a book, where can they go?
They can go to Amazon to purchase a book and just type in My Sister's Story and my beautiful picture is going to pop up.
So you hear that, type in My Sister's Story and her beautiful picture is going to pop up. And there's a picture right there. And then also, if they need assistance, what is the address or how do they reach you?
You can call me at 682-777-5943, or you can email me at SiSSTa'S@yahoo.com, or you can even get to me through the website www.sonyas, SONYAS, house, HOUSE, Inc.org.
Great, thank you. And Mark, you're asking about the subject for tonight. Right now we're talking to Nikki, who is sharing her story about her sister's journey, as well as about Sonya's House, which is a place that she has for women, for individuals who have been infected with the HIV/AIDS virus. You said that you wanted to call in. We're waiting on you, but we will continue to move on until we hear from you. Nikki, is there anything that you would want us to know about those who are infected and affected about HIV/AIDS, one, and two, if we want to make a donation or offer volunteer service, is it something we can do, and how do we do it?
Is there something that I want you to know? I want you to know your status. Get out, get tested, and know your status. A lot of people are walking around here not knowing their status. So get out and get tested. It's always, actually, I do free testing at Sonya's House. Whenever, and if you don't know where to go, call us. I can always connect you. If I can't get you tested, I can always connect you with an organization. And I have organizations that will come to your job and test you.
Oh,
They will test you in your car. They will
okay.
come to, yes, we'll come. Resource One will come to wherever you are.
Okay.
They make it convenient. And it's only 60 seconds, guys, to know your status.
Wow.
Wow.
But if you're positive or not. And then not only that, if you are positive, they're not going to leave, just get out your car and tell you you're HIV positive, get out your car. At that point, they're going to get you help, counseling, because, of course, that's a life-changing diagnosis, situation. So, but you can live. You can live. It's not the end of the world. It's not a death sentence. 14 years ago, when my sister found out that she was HIV positive, to us, it was almost like a death sentence because we wasn't educated on it.
Right.
Now, you have so much education out here that you can live with it. You can get on medications, get undetected, and live your life out and enjoy your life. So know your status. Get out and get tested.
Now, for those who are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, because our listeners are all over, where's the best place for them to go to find out? Is it still the CDC website?
Yes.
Okay.
CDC website, yes.
So you can go to cdc.org, and they'll actually provide you with the facility in your area. For those who are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, you can always go to cdc.org, and they'll let you know where you can go to be tested, or where somebody can come to you so you can be tested. And then for those of us who are here, if we want to volunteer, offer services, or make a donation, how do we go about doing that?
To make a donation, you can go to, you can find us anywhere.
Okay.
You can find us on PayPal at Sonya's House, Inc. You can find us on the Giftify app. Y'all heard of
Yes.
it?
Yes.
Okay. So you can find us there. You can find us on Network for Good. And you can find us
on Facebook. You can always go to Facebook. All the donation links are on Facebook. They're on Sonya's House Facebook page.
You must manage the Facebook page, because you said that proud.
I'm on the page all the time looking around. She's always posting stuff. I'll share it on my Facebook page. So I try to make it convenient, because I have people my age in college too, and they're always like, oh my God, Jesse's family has a nonprofit. We need to do something with them. So I was just inducted into an organization called the National Association for Color Women's Club.
Oh, wow.
And so Women's Month is actually coming up next year, and they were, hey, Destiny, would your mom like to do something? So it would be more like an educational thing. I'm trying to still figure out how we're going to do that, though.
Oh, good. So you're just as active as your mom is.
Yes, on campus I try to do a lot.
Where's campus? On campus? Give a shout out.
I go to UTA in Arlington, so shout out to all my UTA friends and peers. And my campus also on Wednesdays, and any other day you can go and get tested for AIDS, HIV also.
Well, good. So also know UTA, you can get tested as well. So Nikki, we do want to thank you for coming on. We do hold 1 second. I think we have a call. Whoop. He sound like me. Mark, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Hey.
Hey, how y'all doing?
We good. How are you? So Mark, what you said you wanted to speak on the topic. Go right ahead.
Yeah, basically for the last 22 years, I've been working in the healthcare field, as far as on the clerical side, the clerical end of it. So I've seen the aftermath of folks, they go into clinics, hospitals, and get tested. And you kind of, I see it from a family perspective, dealing with, different individuals that find out at the last minute, that they've been infected with HIV or what have you. And so what you ladies are doing, I salute you in the black community, not just in Dallas, but, throughout the world. Everybody needs to get tested. And like you guys were saying earlier, know your status, instead of trying to find out later on what your status is, know your status beforehand. That way you can try to, arm yourself mentally, spiritually, and as well you can, as well as with your family, find out beforehand. That way you know how to fight the war instead of being a victim of it.
Right. And I think I think, Mark, you're absolutely right, and I think a lot of it has to do with it's a battle of the mind. Once you are diagnosed, it's all about your mindset. How do you take it? Are you going to fight to live? Or are you going to let the disease defeat you and end your life sooner than later?
Correct. And earlier when you guys stated that it is a life-changing event. Some people don't embody that or saturate it until that point comes in their lifeline, so to speak. So, for all those that are listening, when you guys get off the air, they need to replay this broadcast like ASAP, because the numbers in the black community, alone are very high, and we know that. I'm an original native of New York, and I can tell you that, if you look up online, the HIV infected, percentage for the state of New York is crazy right now, you know what I mean? So what you guys are doing is very proactive, not only for the black community, but for the city, for the state, for the world, you know what I mean? It's not too many sisters that's on a voyage like you guys are on right now. So I commend you guys on what you guys are doing, and stay strong with it. And for everybody that's listening, go get tested before you become a victim. It's kind of like going through a situation, but you forgot that you had God on your team. So get tested. Go to this young lady's website or whatever you need to do to get the information to get tested. Like she said, she'll come to you. Hell, if you're at your mama's house, she'll come over there too.
Thank you, Mark. Now, are you in the Dallas area or are you still in New York?
No, I'm in Dallas.
Okay.
I'm in Dallas.
Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate it. We love to always hear from our listeners.
Matter of fact, I got an idea for you guys that might help you out.
Sure.
What if we did an event, because I DJ, okay, and I'm willing to offer my services for free.
Okay.
And say we did an event where if instead of folks paying at the door, they just took a test and got in for free. Because everybody likes to go out, and have a drink or eat or what have you. Well, I have a couple of venues that I can reach out to, and we need to do that. We need to bring Power Play Radio Network. We need to bring them and everybody that's in that room right now, and put this thing together.
Pass it off to me. Okay. That's definitely something that we can definitely talk about. Mark, keep that number and call and ask for Mr. Willis. He is the owner of Power Play Radio. And then I am almost sure that when you all set it up and get it in place that my SiSSta'S will be there, and I'm almost certain that Miss Nicky will be there if she is in town and not traveling speaking somewhere. And then anyone else who's out there listening who wants to jump on the bandwagon and participate that's in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, so you want to fly in, that's perfect too. We'll be glad for you to come in and take part of this. You are truly right. I do know that a few years back, 75232 zip code was the #1 for HIV/AIDS amongst our teenagers. So if they were teenagers a few years ago, they're almost adults now. And so if they're living in that denial, that is something that we need to bring to fruition. And, let's be honest, sex is not something that's a secret with our teenagers and our youth now. It's actually just like on the menu at McDonald's. So it's happening. So we do need to bring awareness to it. And what better way can we do that? Like you said, you want to get into this party with DJ Patrick, then you need to get an HIV test. I'm on board for it, but if you take that...
Did you call me DJ Patrick?
Yeah, what is it? St. Patrick? What's your name?
No, my DJ name is Trendsetter.
Hold on, y'all. Let me correct myself. You want to party with DJ Trendsetter? We definitely can. But definitely, please call Mr. Willis. Either after the show, you definitely can. Don't call between the show. If you call them after the show, we'll definitely connect with you, and whatever you need from us, my SiSSta'S Keeper, we will definitely support 100%. And then then you have Nikki's information. If not, it's also on the page. But definitely thank you so much for calling in. And we appreciate it, and we look forward to actually connecting with you. whether it's at the event or in some other fashion. Once again, thank you so much, Mark.
No problem.
Okay,
Thank
and
Thank you.
so y'all, we do have to pay some.
Continue being a blessing to others like y'all doing right now.
Thank you very much. We will.
Okay.
Okay. Nikki, once again, thank you so much for coming in. You're more than welcome to stay, or we're going to go to our next top of the hour. I think so. We're going to pay, we're going to pay a bill again, and we're going to go to the top of the hour. You all are more than welcome to stay. We'd love for you to, but if not, we do appreciate you for coming in, taking time. And y'all, let me just say this, because I'm proud of this. Nikki, this is her first online air, face-to-face interview outside of a magazine. So just be it known that my sister Keeper got the exclusive interview face-to-face.
Thank you.
So we really appreciate it. It's truly been an honor and a pleasure to sit and talk with you. And Mom, if you're out there, Miss Mary Thompson, if you're out there, we want to say thank you for instilling in your daughter and your grandchildren the heart that they have to serve and to give back to the community. Because without you, they would not be who they are today. So, Ms. Thompson, we thank you very much. So once again, we'll be back. Stay there, sit tight. I'm sorry, go to the bathroom if you have to, but come back, sit tight, stay on, and as we go out, we're going to play Tyrese featuring Genuine. Please don't go. But we'll be back. Stay tuned.
Coming straight back.
And we are back. Thank you once again for joining my Sister's Keeper. I am Alonda.
I'm Danita. I'm Tawanika.
And I'm DeAndrea.
And we are my Sister's Keeper. SiSSTA'S. Yes. So, for those who have been with us, we just interviewed Nicky Hawkins, the founder of Sonya's House, who just released her first book, My Sister's Story, which will be... she'll have her book signing on this Friday and Saturday at 712 North Main Street. Excuse me. On the 1st, it'll be from 4 to 7. On the 2nd, it'll be from 12 to 3. Y'all, for those who don't know, I'm getting over being sick, and I still have a cough. But we're at the top of the second hour, so we're going to go into our topic today, which is moving forward and not looking backwards. Who am I? Getting to know the real you. Give me 1 second. So, anytime anyone asks us who we are, it's easy to rattle off. I am a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a sister, aunt, friend, doctor, teacher, etc., and the list goes on. The truth is, we are each of those because those titles are dependent on something else. In other words, it is the title which has no reflection of who you really are, and until you find out who you really are, you will keep creating new identities. One of the greatest internal struggles is not knowing our true identity. Once we begin to realize who we are internally, we begin to break the chains which have been holding us in bondage. We will also be able to answer, who am I? Excuse me. Who am I without referencing our job, possessions, gender, nationality, health situations, roles, and titles in life. So today, we will go beyond the surface. We will go beyond the surface, and begin the self-realization process. We will discuss. Here are 3 questions for you. Am I my body or my mind? Second question is, am I my past or my possessions? The third one is, what is the meaning of my life? So if each of you want to talk about that, and I'm going to sit back for a minute, y'all. I'm truly apologize, but I'm going to sit back for a minute and let someone else go ahead and address those questions.
Well, just to think about the 3 questions that have been posed, it's easy, as Alonda said, to think of yourself in terms of your positions, to think of yourself in terms of offices you might hold, titles you might hold, and not even think about who you really are. I reconnected with my cousin after us being kind of apart for several years. When we were growing up as teenagers, we were very close and hung out and all that good stuff. And then we, as life happened, we grew up, got married, had kids, all that good stuff, and kind of grew apart. And so recently we reconnected and we had a brief conversation, and we talked about not knowing who we are because we were busy being what we are, being the mother, being a wife, being a career, being a daughter, whatever title, whatever position in our families, in our community, in our organizations, and in our homes that we held. We were busy doing that and not even thinking about what we liked, what we wanted to do, how we saw things, just having a minute to breathe and take it in. And so we both kind of found ourselves in similar positions, divorced and not knowing how to, with adult children or older children, not needing so much from us, that it was like, okay, so what do? We have to, we're talking about how do we take time to find out and figure out who we are. What do we need to do? So we've both been kind of going through a learning process of learning who we are, over these past couple of years, and trying to decide what we liked and what we wanted to do. So it's been very, very interesting. And me personally, I'm still in that process of figuring out what I want to do and how I want to do it, because it's just me. I'm not, in relationship. I'm not, my daughter, youngest baby is 21, so I don't have to do anything with that, because, you need to find your way. Hey,
Right.
Jamari. And so I'm, finding myself like, okay, so what do I really want to do? What do I like to do? I know what I did, as a wife, as a mother, in a family setting. But now it's like, okay, it's just me. So what do I do? And I've been, traveling a little bit and going places, seeing things, trying new things, just trying to figure out what I really like to do, so that I can know what I, like and what I want and what I would like to have. So
I agree. Like it's so easy. I can sit here right now, and if you ask me who am I mean the things that would come off the top of my head or things that I do, not specifically who am I? Who is Taiwanese? What is Taiwanese like? I'm going to tell you, who are you? Well, I'm a mom, and I drive dance practice every day, and I do this, and then I go to work, and then I go to church, and then I do this for church. But those are things that are you and should not define you, but it's just so easy because that's our everyday thing. That's what it takes more time. Like you said, you're still learning. You've had a discussion, I'm sure, even before that discussion, with you having an adult daughter, and that, not being something that has to compromise your time. Like, hey, even like I'm in that transition stage where my daughter is 16. She needs me, but she doesn't.
Right.
She's at that age, like, I need you, but then I have to let her go. So the times as I'm starting to let her go more and more, it's like, well, what do I do?
Exactly.
With myself. And I find a lot of times I really don't want to do anything because I'm doing so much.
Right.
Yes.
And then sometimes I'm speaking to D'Andre, but sometimes I feel guilty. Sometimes I feel guilty for because for some people, those are the times, hey, my child is gone, let's get out, get her. I don't want to get out. I want to sit at home and do nothing, not talk, not because you always just mama this or somebody over here and do this and do that. And I just don't want to talk. I just want to sometimes look at mindless TV shows and just not think and just be. And during that time, like those are times that I kind of figure out, well, what do I want to do? No, I'm not going to. I don't want to sit here and watch TV every time I'm alone. But it just takes time. It's a progression. So it's constantly your work in progress.
Right. D'Andre.
I started to respond how I responded in the car. However, please, I'll be ready already. I don't know. I think I look at, in my body or in my mind. One of the things that, that I can actually look at based off of circumstances and events that have happened in my life, I think I know that I'm supposed to be mine, because one thing that we think the body followed, the body tells the brain what to do, what the brain needs the body to function. So the brain tells the body what to do. So therefore, that means, what does it mean to be, am I my mind? Well, am I my mind, or getting rid of, well, let me start over. Okay, so my mind for me means releasing toxic thoughts. And so when you start finding out who you are, you really have to find out if, sometimes, again, when being exposed to certain situations, circumstances allow us to either become more positive or more negative. And depending on how we handle it, you have to take a serious reflection as to your response to the situations and the toxicity levels and how you respond to it. So, one of the things I was looking at is, well, then how do you get better? If that is the case, if you know that you've been exposed to these things, can you just wake up tomorrow and just say, hey, I'm just going to think positive thoughts? Because that's what we tell people all the time, and I think it's the most annoying thing in the world. Just be happy. Just be positive. And I was like, well, the opposite of happy is sad. But then when I'm telling myself, oh, well, then you need to be positive, well, I don't know. I can still be sad and say that one day something may still get better. I mean, it's all about the thought process. However, when we start talking about just be positive, I think it's more so looking at what do I need to do and what do I need to be intentional at. Sometimes we look at all of this stuff at one time, and we look at, oh, I need to change everything. Or we get around certain people, and the certain people will devalue, will make you feel like you're less than, or will devalue your worth in the relationships with them, whether it be mother, child, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. And so I think I just want to be more intentional at knowing who I am based off of my mind, my thinking. What is my thinking at this moment? And how does it define how I handle myself in the situation? Am I my past or my possessions? Again, I've talked about it on plenty of shows that we can only operate in the present. Again, time is illusion. If you don't wake up tomorrow, it was never given to you. In the past is there, and it frames who we become. But what is my mind telling me in the moment of the present? And how am I dealing with the present? And so what is the meaning of my life? I think the meaning of my life were probably three things. What do I value? What am I good at? What's important to me?
But even in you saying that, it takes a person. It takes a mindset change to get to that point. And I think those questions that were posed are because you just said something that has a lot of power to it, and we don't really think about this. And it's the statement that you said is that, am I allowing myself to become what people have defined me to be, is what you said. At that point, you have no control of your mind. You're not your mind, you're your body, because someone else is dictating and instilling in your mind to pull the puppet string for which way you're going to act. And I think, and as a child, we grow up and we do that, and because it says, okay, well, I'm going to put you in tap dance, and I'm going to put you in ballet dance, and I'm going to let you play the piano, the guitar, and you're going to play soccer and cheerleader. And these are things that people think you should do, and so you end up finding out the one that you're good at, but you become your body because your mind is saying, but I really want to go over here and I really just want to be a research analyst, but my mother or father never said, here, let's put her in the library. So it starts at a young age.
Because we've been dictated to live our lives based on what other people want.
Right. Exactly.
And so when you ask, what is the meaning of my life? Stop playing by the rules. You're going
to have to break the rules.
You're going to have to
break the rules.
Break all the rules.
It's a complete overhaul. It's a reconditioning. Like you said, my mama's put me in this dance and this, and then you're like, I don't know, 40 years old or whatever. You're like, I really don't like to dance. I don't like that.
It made my mama happy.
Right. Everybody happy. Everybody came to see me.
Right.
I got all these plaques and I was good, but that's not what I like.
And I'm gonna even bring it closer home to adulthood. I'm a housewife.
That might not be what you like.
No, and that's why you wait until that last breath is taken, and then now you can live your life. And I hate to say that, but it is. I mean, you find so many people who become liberated. Whether that, and when I say last breath, I'm not saying 6 feet under, 4 feet under. I'm also saying it could be by way of divorce. It could be by way of a life-changing circumstance or situation that forces you to say, you know what? I'm going to live. You talk about today, 43-year-old, what's his name, football player?
Terry
Glenn. He didn't know that was going to be his last. So, once again, what happens to all of us in TV land and in media land? We say, oh my God, life is too short. I got to live today. And it's a quick moment, but then you don't even know who you are to live. Right. So, what are you living to be?
What are you living?
So your living means I'm going to go to work. I'm going to come home, I'm going to breathe on, and we always say this, I'm going to stop stressing, I'm going to stop worrying about things I can't control. That is not you!
That's not you.
That is not you.
You are going to be concerned about some stuff that's going on. You are going to think about issues and problems and things that concern you. I think how you handle it makes the difference. How you view it makes the difference, because it's going to happen. You can't just be like, poof, it ain't there. It's going to be there. It's going to happen. It's a part of life. But the way that we handle it, the way that we think about it, the way that we even acknowledge it and begin to work through it, work on it, those are the ways, that we can handle it and make a difference, so that we, start learning, who am I, and being able to answer the question.
But we've been so conditioned because, success has been defined for us already. We live in a society where success has already been laid out, and you have to follow this road. You have to get married. You have to have a successful job. You have to take the road to college. And for more and more of our kids, stardom is the way. Being an athlete, being a rapper, being a singer, an entertainer. Remember, that all defines success. And so therefore, they're driven by maybe not so much of knowing who they are, but what society is accepting them to be. And they put them on this pedestal, and then when things go wrong, but one thing I wish they would see is that when they go wrong, they condemn them so fast. So, it's like walking in. We're already programmed from the day we were born to be negative. Everything we've seen has some result of a negative aspect, and so therefore it becomes part of you every day. And so when we walk in, I can give you 5 things that happened to me. And one, I can say, hey, I won the race. I fed the homeless. I gave money to the poor. And, oh, by the way, I got a speeding ticket. Well, once I said I got a speeding ticket, guess what? You got a speeding ticket. Your mama says your reflection changed, but you negated all the other things that I did right. You didn't give me credit for that. Yeah. And guess what? As humans, socially, emotionally, guess what? Once we focus in on that, we walk away saying, oh my God, I either blew it, or I have to figure out how to be right in their eyes again, or I have to live up to this standard. Or, we have people that, I have my, and I won't say conspiracy because it's happening. It's not a conspiracy. It's just, are you woke? What is your mindset? Can you see it? And so when we talk about things that have been done, I look at going back to students. One of the things we talked about is that we have a majority, a higher population of students who are graduating and they're leaving out. Yes, they can read. So I don't ever want people to say they can't read, but the level at which they're reading and comprehending is that's a part to an elementary student. So if I'm graduating, I'm in a 6th grade reading comprehension level. Yeah, that's great for newspapers. Yes, that's great for print. But how does that frame what I'm able to do once I leave? It says this is the basics. But, we talk about if, we're teaching kids that, hey, it's okay if you can't read. You can put it on a tablet. It can read it to you. Everything can be voiced over. But we know if you put it in the book, they won't read it. And guess what? We're to the point now that if they can't read it, they're not going to go find it.
How about if they can't write it?
They're surely not going to look for it.
No.
They're not going to look for it. So all the things and the keys to life and the things that will probably make them better, it's going to take them longer to find out, But at the same time, we want to drill down and bring it down to the spiritual levels that if they can't read, will they ever pick up a Bible to read?
No, which is their foundation.
They can pull up a Bible app.
And it can talk to them.
Oh, and it can talk to them.
Yes, it'll read.
But then you're still not comprehending.
Right.
And are you willing to go seek out the knowledge because you can? And so again, we live in a society where it's made ready. It's okay. I want it now. I need it now. And so it chips away with who you are because again, you just aligned you just followed the cookie cutter, product. So it's just, I think when you start looking at and so we talked about on the show, how do you become better? How do you make yourself better? It really is the mindset. Do I wake up every day? So when I wake up in the morning, I will say this is the 5-year wake of my mother passing. And so today is the day, and November 20th, 2012, and it was life-changing. And so I struggled to get out of bed today. I struggled to just do anything and just to get my life together, figure out who I am. But I know that I still have a purpose, and I also have a job to do tonight. So it took me a little bit longer, but the moment I sat there and said I'm going to stay in this place was the moment that maybe the enemy was winning. I don't know who I had to come speak to today. I didn't know who I had to share this with, but I was going to be selfish in that moment, which again, let's be clear on this. If I wanted to be selfish, then that is my right.
Absolutely.
That is my right.
And I think, and since you've exposed it now, I think sometimes when we go back a few shows ago, you said sometimes I don't need you to say anything. I just need you to listen. Right. And I think that's what you needed today. It was just for us to listen and for you to make your own decision. Because what happens is when I start offering you my 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 cents, it doesn't do nothing but add fuel to the fire. Right. And you're like, that's the the reason why I don't get up out the bed.
Right.
Because I don't need the amen corner. I don't need you telling me what I should. I know what I should be doing, but it's my choice of where I choose to be at this moment. So if I choose to sit in the bed in my pajamas and not be on the radio show except say, hey, y'all, out there in media land, I'm alive, I'm good, that is fine. Right. And if the people that are impacted the most are okay with it, all the naysayers, just keep naying. Right. Because we're okay with it. But I think that's where we get, but then once again, sometimes we want somebody to, we say, oh, I'm crying for help. And then when you get the help verbally and it's not what you want to hear,
you're not accepting
then you're not accepting it. Now you're mad all up. That's a whole new mad.
Yeah.
But
why?
You know, that's so easy to do. It's easy to do because I struggle with it myself, you know, grieving. And you want, it's hard to explain, but you kind of put it out there very well. You cry for help. But then if they say the wrong thing, then it's like,
yeah, I'm shutting them down.
I'm shutting down. That's not what I want to hear.
I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that. But it's like you want something, and nobody's ever going to say the right thing.
Right.
You can only comfort yourself. You know, everybody's not spiritual, but God is the only comfort. Nobody can say anything to me when I get like that. If I was like she was, I would have stayed at home tonight. I wouldn't have been able to get out of the bed.
Right. But it takes strength to know, once again, who you are and your purpose. And your purpose is not, it's not about you, it's about helping others. And in helping others comes your own self-healing. And we talked about that with Nicky earlier. So hold that thought. I just want to read two things. For some reason, my phone is not getting it. Sonya says, first, we are to live to please God, then we are urged to live in a way that pleases God. Absolutely. But Marie, also, we got to know who God is in our life, number one.
That's right.
Novi Darlene Green Davidson said, hello, ladies. Rush right home to tune in. Thank you. Love you and keep this broadcast. We will as long as God gives us breath in our life. But for the moment, we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to pause. And we're going to ask you to stay with us. Facebook, please note that you go to silence. Those who are streaming live will hear on the air Wait for Love by Luther Vandross. I would sing it, but I might start coughing. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you for joining in again. We are back with today. We've had the opportunity to speak with Nicky Hawkins of Sonya's House, as well as the release of her new book, My Sister's Story. And then we're also talking about who am I? Getting to know the real you. And we've been talking about 3 questions. But now we're back, and we want to talk about just a little bit about a quote. And then we're going to wrap up our show for the night. There's a quote that says, "Don't stumble over something behind you." So when you all hear that, what does that mean to you? Or even listeners out there, what does that mean to you? Don't stumble over something behind you.
When it's time to move forward, sometimes we can't because we're stuck, and sometimes we don't, and we're stuck for several reasons. We don't know how. We don't know how to take the first step. We don't even know that we're stuck. There's a whole lot that can go into that. But don't stumble over something behind you, to me, just says that don't dwell on your past. Don't stay stuck in a situation or a circumstance. But try your best to do something daily, even moment by moment, hour by hour, and minute by minute, or whatever it takes to get you progressing, to get you to be able to move forward in a positive direction, something that will benefit you, something that will help you, something that will grow you. So to me, don't stumble over something behind you means don't stay stuck in what your past has taught you, has brought you, or has done.
Yeah, I think sometimes subconsciously we can continue to revert to the things that, like you said, had us stuck, or I don't know, took us to a certain place, or put us in a position that we don't want to be in, we don't need to be in. We're trying to progress, and sometimes subconsciously, just because it's out of habit, is what you've always done. That person is who you always fell back on, or you've been doing it for many years. It's easy to go back. So to me, that's saying, whatever that person is, or whatever that situation is, because it's out of habit, it's routine. You may go back to those habits. You may go back to calling that person. Okay, I'm not going to deal with this person anymore, but I really didn't delete their number out of my phone. I put it on my notepad.
Right. I screenshot.
Wait, you can say I deleted it.
That's speaking from experience. What happened?
So I deleted it. I said, forget it. I'm taking my deleted it out of my contacts, but I saved it somewhere. So whenever I get this thought, or whatever it is, that's stumbling.
Wow.
Because I go back. Hey, what you doing? Whatever case may be. It doesn't have to be anything physical. That could be just that person, that crutch that caused you to be in whatever situation that you didn't want to be in, that's keeping you from progressing. Situations, family life. It can be that our family sometimes can be our biggest downfall. Unfortunately. And they're going to always be around, and you really just can't get rid of them per se. But you can, you can address them. You can, put them in their own lane. Hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm doing it. And they will not let you forget how you used to be or what you used to do. And hey, okay, I've owned that. Own your ish. I've owned that. I did that. That is not me anymore. I'm moving forward. It takes you to have to separate yourself from that family member.
Yes.
Love them from a distance. That's what you got to do. So that to me is just saying those, going backwards. Hey, there's a place for that. That's why it's behind you. That's why that rearview mirror is looking back. It's behind you, moving forward.
Right.
Can you read that quote one more time, Melinda?
Don't stumble over something behind you.
So I guess I hear 2 things. The first thing is destruction. Simply because how can you be moving forward and stumble over something, which means what? You're looking back.
You got to turn around.
And so you had to turn around, or maybe you were just looking back the entire time. Because you were either trying to bring people up with you, or you kept trying to reach back to make sure that you had people walking beside you, or you just trying to look back to see if anything had changed and if people had accepted you.
So you're in validation zone.
So you're in validation. Because when I'm looking back, I'm trying to make something right. I'm trying to recreate. I'm thinking about it. If I'm going back to an ex, it's because I'm trying to fix something that was not right in the past. If I go back to a job that had already rejected me, then it's because I'm trying to seek validation to prove that I'm good enough.
I'm worthy.
And I'm worthy enough. So when God gives you a new beginning, it starts with an ending. Be thankful for closed doors, because they often guide us to new ones. You know, I think I put on my Facebook page that, you know, you weren't rejected, you were divinely redirected. So I just had to make sure, right? Divinely redirected.
You did.
So what does this mean? And to stumble. And so the problem with looking back and you stumble, be grateful for the stumble, because if we were driving in the car and we look back the entire time, we know that was asking for death. We were asking for destruction. So again, why would you put yourself in alignment of something that God didn't purpose you to be there? If He put you on a path, the path was to walk forward. Looking back, again, you allow God to handle everything that was done wrong to you in the past. You allow Him to take revenge. You allow Him to have the moments, because guess what? If they're behind you, they will always see what you're doing.
But you just said a key word, let Him. We have to stop trying to fix it ourselves. That's what you said earlier. You know, if I go back to a bad situation or X or whatever it is, then you go back thinking, okay, I can fix it. In reality, it goes back to our very first show. You going back trying to reconstruct the project when it was rejected when the first time it failed. And I think a lot of times, you know, you look at it that way. I look at when it says don't stumble over something behind you. What happens if that behind you actually comes right up on your heels? And you look to see what it is, and you stumble. It's the same exact thing. But once again, because it's running up chasing to get to you, because you're going forward. Oh, well, it's changed. Oh, it's new. Oh, they've rewritten the work plan. You know, the job is going to be different. The relationship's going to be different. Oh, they've seen their wrongdoing, so now we can go forward. And what happens? You stumble again.
My visual when you say that is somebody coming up behind you and they right on your heels. I'm thinking about football. So now I don't need to go straight. I need to do a little bit. Yeah, I'm going straight and he's catching up with me. She's catching up with me. This situation is right here on my heels. I'm not doing something right. A lot of times it takes time to get out of that. And to me, if it's been a fight and a struggle to get out of it, that's a sure sign to me that I shouldn't have been there in the first place. And then when it catches up with me, oh, I need to really get to going. So I need to figure out whatever it is. I need to arm myself spiritually.
Right.
I need to separate myself from whatever the situation, people, places, things, whatever. And I need to move in a different direction, then that's what I need to do.
Because when it's on your heels, remember, if it's on your heels and you're looking back at it, it's slowing you down. One thing about it, if you've been trying to bob and weave, usually they bob and weave with the people that's in front of them. If you're worried about people behind you, most of them stay focused on what? The end zone. They stay focused on the goals. They focus on the mission. They focus on the vision. So therefore, they know what they want to achieve. So they're not concerned about being tackled. Why? Because if they stay focused on running, then they'll be that much closer to the time they get back up.
That's right.
So just know your worth, stay in the game, trust the process, stay focused, because who you are will ultimately define what you go on to be. And it's not about being it for you, because again, remember, we are here as vessels to honor God, to serve God. And so therefore, in the end, when you go on, it's because He gets the glory. And so in the end, stay focused on that, know who you serve, know who you belong to, know who you are.
And just know that every time you look back, you're recreating a new identity, which is what we said at the beginning, because you're not trusting the process. So that's our show for tonight, y'all. We're going to do Hot on the Spot. Everyone knows what Hot on the Spot is. I think we have a new process tonight.
It's two questions that people that need some help with. I'm sorry.
Oh, questions that people have needed help with.
Oh, so these are
from people around the country.
Oh,
okay.
And so what do we do?
Yeah,
you read it and we're going to address it.
Address it.
Okay. Okay, this question says, y'all already looking at it.
That's it, how
Huh?
That's it, how on the spot.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. This is how on the spot. And this states, I went on a date with a young lady and we went to a 5-star restaurant. And the bill was $292.15. We had vintage wine and the works. I always have fun with her and money is not an issue with me. This is our 6th date and I asked her to pay the tip and she said no. Was I wrong? My sisters.
Was he wrong for asking her to pay the tip?
Yeah. The bill was $292.15. Was he wrong? Was that improper etiquette?
Well, he said he went on a date. He didn't say that they were dating. You know, to me, when you go on a date, you're still gathering data.
And he said this is our 6th date.
So I think so.
He's not wrong. No, you're not wrong.
He's not wrong. He can
You
ask,
can always ask.
but she can always say yes or no.
But so then the question, it probably is he wrong for being upset, or is
What was his feeling afterwards?
Right,
And
the
that's probably
feelings
real question.
afterwards.
How did you feel afterwards?
she said no, and I'm sure she probably got a little upset. Why you asking me for it?
And so here's my spin on that. This is your 6th date. You've been on date 6, 1 through 5. He's always paid the bill and paid the tip.
Perhaps he didn't spend almost $300.
Well, he should know the difference when you're going from a 1-star, when you're going from a 1-star to a 5-star. But okay, so we're gonna say he didn't know that the bill was gonna be $292.15.
Okay.
I don't care if it was $292.15, $48.50. If 1 through 5 you've paid the tab and the tip, then if this one, if your mindset was for her to pay the tip, then before you even left the car, left the house, it should have been, say, boo, I'm going to catch the bill. Can you catch the tip? So if he got mad because it was $292.15 and that stretched his pocketbook because his other account only had $300 in it, I would have said no too, because you didn't give me the opportunity to prepare myself as a woman. Because $292.15 times 20%. I'm sorry, how much is it? 40. Because we could have went to Cheddar's and been okay.
But the deal is, it was a date, and there was no conversation. You're sure, like we all said, you can ask, but the expectation and the precedents that have been set is I'm paying the tab. I'm taking you on a date. I'm paying the tab. Have you asked me to pay the tip prior on any of the other dates? Or did you just ask me to pay the tip on this expensive 5-star date that you took me on?
And I always say,
But it still goes back to the expectation. And then I guess my question to Mr. Nashville, Tennessee is, how was her response? And then how did you perceive the
That's
response?
what I want. You just asked, was I wrong? Did she get upset?
Well,
No, you weren't wrong for asking, is the answer to that, but are you saying that she got upset and you wanted to know
she got upset then, right. So, you're never wrong for asking anything. I mean, but again.
What's his name?
Kennard.
Kennard.
I'm gonna play with Kennard.
I'm going to say he's not. You all are right. He can ask anything, but
Kennard is,
I'm gonna play with Kennard a little bit. I'm gonna ride with him.
you gonna ride with Kennard?
Then you eat too?
Oh yes, I ate. But see, at the moment that okay, so then let me ask you: you're asking me to tip because you tipped up until this point? Now, granted, no. So you're asking me as an individual. If you ask me to tip, I always go with the expectation to be able to. See, men don't want you to be independent, but because things lend itself to situations like this, if I'm going out, I just have to prepare myself anyway. Because something and anything can always happen. So again, but you want me to be dependent on and less independent, but then don't put me in situations where now I have to make you feel bad about asking me for the tip. But he's paid this whole entire time. Yes, I ate, but then maybe you should have ate less. So if you didn't know you had enough money to cover it, and it would come out to be $300, maybe you should have got that steak, and maybe you should have got the salad.
But I don't even think it comes to that. And here's my spin on it. And this is how I always look at it. You have dating, then you have courting. I'm just old school. And I think when when you date, you're gathering data, and both should actually go to wherever you're going with the assumed expectation that you're going Dutch. And if one chooses to pay over the other, then that is by choice. Now, when you're courting, that means we're in an exclusive committed relationship, meaning that if you are going to ask me, say, boo, tonight, I'm going to take you to dinner. Don't ask me to pay no tip, because we're courting. So I think when you're in a courting phase, the communication should be different versus when you're gathering data. I think both should just know the expectation of that. The worst case scenario, that I'm going to have to pay for my own meal and they're going to have to pay for theirs. Because, see, at the end of the day, if it was me and this keyword date, I would have been like, what was my bill? What was my portion?
But see, I think that when you read it, you know, I don't think that it's pointing to have the money. I think sometimes that guys know that all four of y'all, I never been out to eat with y'all, but y'all pet peeve by customer service, right?
It's fine. Mm-hmm.
So you want, if they did good waitress or maitre d', you want what? Tip them well. So I look at his area, he asked, do you mind paying the tip? Because you know what, we had a good dinner, a good glass of wine, I enjoyed myself, I'm going to pay the tip.
But I think it goes back to expectations of both sexes.
Yeah.
And I do, and I think for some reason, women, when they are in a dating phase, and I'm not anti-women, anti-men, pro-men, but I think when women are in a dating phase, and if a man asks them to go out, then they are assuming that they are not responsible for any tab. But I have always been in the mindset of that. I am making sure that wherever I go, when I look at that menu and I order my food, that I can cover my bill. Because at any given point, you're going on a date. What if he would have said, oops, I didn't know the bill was going to be that much. I only have 200. Who's going to come up with the other 92? But you see what I'm saying?
But it's a failure to communicate. Like,
exactly.
What it is just a failure to
That's why they want
communicate.
y'all to ask this question.
And it all starts with communicating.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest breakdown, is because some people want to come.
But
Everybody assumes. She assumes that they're going on a date.
No, I wouldn't even say assume. I say sometimes we test people. We test, I'll be honest. Yes, we test them to see how they will respond in certain situations and then dictate that as to, oh, this is the person for me. Or this is not. But you put them in there and you set them up for failure.
Oh, creating a new identity.
But on the other hand, Kanoa may not be secure because now y'all still what? An independent woman. Even independent woman want to still tell you know what, I got this. That means it's no commitment.
Well, then if you don't want to be independent, don't ask me to pay the tip.
Correct. Look at it. But how many times y'all went and said, you know what, I'm going to go out with this nigga. I'm paying my own, you pay for it. But hold on. I mean, I have no attachment. Sometimes men may not look at the situation that
I do it very well, because if you're not something that I'm even interested in, I'm gonna pay my own bill. I may go out to dinner just because of courtesy, but if it's a no-go stop sign, I'm gonna pay my own bill. So it's not no miscommunication.
There's so many
It's so many different
probably ask you as to what is it coming from on the 6th day.
for 7 days, we're going to have different answers for all these shows.
Well, just know.
I have questions.
We have questions.
Yeah.
I have questions.
Please put them on y'all page. Take them.
All right. Okay, hot on the spot again. My boyfriend came home at 6 a.m. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just a personal situation.
I ain't gonna even respond to that.
My boyfriend came home at 6 a.m. after being out all night. And said, I'm sorry, y'all. And said he fell asleep at his best friend's because he had been drinking. I've been in this. This is his 3rd time doing this. Should I let him go or keep him?
Well, first of all, he has a drinking problem. That's not even talking about the fact that he didn't come home. That's talking about the real elephant in the room. You got an alcoholic.
Nobody never said that.
He has a drinking problem. That's just the real problem. You're an alcoholic. So that determines whether or not if I should stay.
Who said that his friends are outside?
You're an alcoholic.
Number one, I'm going to say you're an alcoholic. Then if you deny that.
Well, why are you coming home at 6 a.m.? That sounds like a booty call. I'm just going to call it for what it is.
Well, it was time for the other person to get up and go to work. And then he had to come home.
Well, he says he was at his best friend's house. If
He went in his boyfriend.
let me say this. If I get to the point that I'm drunk and I'm at Dee's house, Dee's going to call and say, she over here because she
That's what
lit.
I'm saying. Because that's a good
significant other.
And then
You over here
it's
sleep
the best
and I
best
have.
friend.
It's the best friend. I mean, best friend is my friend too.
So after number
They gonna send a
Best
text.
friend is my friend.
so after number 1, after the first night alcoholic, I'm gonna come and get you on night 2 and 3.
Right.
And then when you're not there, we ain't gotta have no discussion. I don't have to talk to you about 12-step program. I don't have to talk to you about, we good. We just gonna kiss and say goodbye.
Because when I come get you on the
But
third
that's-
night, you don't have your stuff
Look,
back.
Maria Sonya said, girl, ain't no man gonna let her know this. He's not getting none. I don't care what you're talking about.
Oh.
Unless he's not doing something with somebody else. He is covering.
Maybe that's 6 a.m.
Should I let him go? Yes. Bettina, let him go for one because he's an alcoholic. And then two, unless you want to go to AA meetings with him and nurse him back to hell, that's on you, boo.
But don't take on the
second part
project,
of it
though.
is, he becomes a project because he's not even accountable for his actions, which means he has no self-control, which means he won't have self-control in the relationship.
And if you did already express to him that how that makes you feel, then he's already disregarded you. So, boo, you actually looking back and you stumbling on 2 and 3. So,
Right.
I'm sorry.
So,
Yeah.
And an alcoholic
I
is just
think
not
you
working.
better let him go.
It looks like another of
TKO.
Let him go. And so the consensus is to let him
Let him go.
Let him go.
Give him the
you. That's the second time. That second time you come back
Nigga,
the same.
why you laughing? You reading?
Because we
I
done
think
heard
we all
that.
been down the
I mean,
road
you know
They
what?
done that. Heard it.
I'm
The
getting up
t-shirt
for
around.
work and you come in the house. I fell asleep in the parking lot and when I dropped my friend off after the club. Let's see.
In the parking lot. So can we run that tape back?
Wait a minute. Your phone didn't ring?
No, let's run that tape.
I called
What parking lot
you.
were you in? Because I need to go to the store to let them know that y'all not even considered to go out and
Tell y'all
the
something. I
parking
used to
lot
be
at
that
night.
woman that would be calling 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour.
Yeah.
Now, boo-boo, let me just gonna tell you, I'm not gonna miss no sleep
I'm
behind
not
you.
sleep.
But what's gonna happen the next day?
But that took a process.
We not gonna, it did.
But
It's
it's
a
a
long
But
process.
see, this was me because it had happened. I don't know that it happened 3 times, but by that time it had already happened. So I was good. I was asleep. I woke up to get ready for work. I looked, nobody else is there on the other side of the bed.
Oh, that's a whole different type
But
of
I know when I
drama.
went to sleep, you said you was going out. I woke up, you wasn't there, and I hear the garage coming up. When I'm getting up to get ready to go to work.
So you let the sun beat you at my house?
So the curfew 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock?
Ain't no curfew.
No,
No,
let the
it's
sun
called
beat
respect.
Yeah,
It's just called
Right,
respect.
right.
So there's 2 old sayings. One is
Come
don't let the
courtesy.
sun beat you in my house. The other one is after 11 o'clock, only thing open is... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
That's what the same.
at the end of the day, but see, now, I guess when you get to a certain age, it ain't even age. I think after you go through so many certain type of experiences,
You know,
it's just like, I'm not just to lose no rest.
over this
Look.
nonsense.
It's, no, it ain't cheaper to keep you,
Mm-mm.
because my sanity is worth more than that. So at a certain point, I'm just, look, boo, you good people, but you just not good enough for me. And then if you can't understand that, well, it's not you, it's me.
Mm.
So, no.
No, just a
So, no. But Tina, you need to let him go.
Tina, let him go.
You giving us
All
another
right.
one?
No, it was always 3.
It was always
Oh.
3.
Oh, you was holding it back.
Oh,
Hold it
Lord.
back.
Uh-oh.
Holding back.
We can't be afraid of DeAndre.
No, you come.
Why are you afraid of that?
This next hot spot is all the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
All right.
I had about 6 dates with this beautiful young lady, and we had a good time. Now, on our 7th date, she asked, could her son come along with one of his friends? They are 11 years old. I'm not good with kids, but I like it a lot. Should I tell her that let's wait a while before we start bringing the kids along?
No, he just needs to let her go because he said he's not good with kids. So whether you take him today or next week, if you're not good with him, you're just not good with him.
Correct.
So you need to let her go.
Well, no, I think he just probably needs to let her know that he's not comfortable with the kids coming along. Because she did ask if she could
But
bring
he
her along.
says, I am not good with kids.
He's not, but I like a lot. He just said he's not good with kids. He didn't say he didn't like kids. He
Yeah.
just said he didn't want the awkwardness to come in because he probably wouldn't know how to be around them.
Yeah.
I done been
So
down that
maybe,
road.
I don't know nothing
she
about that.
wants to introduce the kid in another setting, not just bring the kid out on a date. Maybe they need to hang around the house and play Madden or something like that.
That's
Yeah,
You know, I mean, whatever the
that's-
kid's
Yeah,
thing
so we
is,
get
get to
different
know the
opinions.
kid.
And-
I think that's fair and reasonable to have a different setting, not a date, but to introduce them.
That's what he did say to her,
Yeah.
though. That's what he said. I would love for them with me right now. This was about but then that's okay. So here it goes. We'll flip the coin. Again, the faster my kids get to know you, the faster I realize you're not the person for me. Because again, kids, hey, they pick up on things. Maybe not always quick, but they pick up on it quick if you're full of it, if you're not. So let's go and get this over with. Let me see how you interact and be done with it. That's how some people perceive it. So you can do it that way, or another way if you're looking at what does it mean as far as what I want from this woman. So again, here we are on our 7th day, and yes, it could be 7 days. We don't know if it's 7 days in a row or if it's over a period of 7 months.
Right.
But somewhere in there, again, it goes back to communication. What is the expectation out of us taking our time and going on dates, as I understand, between courting and dating, because we're collecting data. So if you're still collecting data, then it's probably not the time
That's
to bring
right.
it in there, because again, you can. Evidently, she hasn't shown you enough yet to where you can actually figure out where the kids fit in your life.
But
So-
he's 31.
31.
If he's not good with kids at 31, he's not gonna be good with kids at 31 in 6 months.
He doesn't have kids.
But if he's already paranoid because that's paranoia. If he's already paranoid and not good and saying he's not good with kids, then when I need you to step in to be a man, if we get to the courting phase, don't be looking at me talking about that's your son. You need to address that.
But
To go out on a date is
but
not
don't-
the way to get a feel for that.
But-
to
but-
me.
Right.
But the women always said just be honest with me. So ain't he been honest?
Yeah, I mean, I would say
I
be
think-
straight
I
up.
just think he should have a deeper
Because sometimes-
conversation about it.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes guys get with a lot of women say they love kids, I like them, but he want to get with you. But ain't he just being honest? He's telling you from Jump Street that.
Oh no, he's being honest, but the problem is, let me tell you, most guys will say, "Hey, I don't think we should bring kids along," and then now she's wondering, so why not? Because I'm not good with kids. Men you're not going to go deeper in the conversation, and that's why I said that's where the disconnect between what a woman has. Remember, when women speak from the frontal lobes of their brain, and the men are in the back, where everything is logical, where we're more, again, as they quote unquote emotional, but we process and we're more in the abstract. So we need to go deeper. So for them, he's compartmentalized it in what it is, where she's like, well, no, that's probably not that's not right. Why? You don't want it because you don't want me. You don't want kids. You don't like kids. And it becomes a big blow up. And really, they're both speaking the same language. It's just that they're not taking the time to understand what the other is saying. And you have to communicate.
That's deep.
You have to communicate.
My sister keeps it.
Let's see. Marie said it's called dating outside the home, away from your children. You have right to learn, and by dating him long enough, you can get a feel as to if he is willing.
Right.
Milton, what is that? What?
Milton willing.
Milton, would you wait till the 7th date to say and then tell her you don't want to bring the kids along?
When they're from the
He
first
don't know
date,
if he
you
like
know she
he
has
31.
kids.
I bet you Bill to say I know day one if I like kids or not.
Right.
That ain't no hard. That ain't no hard. That's nothing hard to pop.
With kids.
He said what?
He said he wasn't good with them.
Yeah. He been
But
And we don't even know that, but they're 11 years old.
As
So-
an 11-year-old
an
boy, I
11-year-old
don't need you not to be good with kids.
No, but
why do
11
you want to
years
bring the kid and his friend?
See, there's a lot of questions that I have.
There's a
in
lot.
this.
Why
Yeah.
she trying to
I'm
bring?
still stuck on not good with kids.
Unless
At
they go to Dave
31.
and Buster's.
He's 11, and that's a turning point for a young kid.
But the whole thing is the whole atmosphere and the situation she's trying to put him in. On a date, no.
No, I think it's.
Well, maybe they was going to play
He's
puzzle.
okay for saying that. He did. That's what I said. They could have been going to Dave and Buster's, something where she thought maybe it would have been a family friendly environment, and maybe she's feeling him, but she needs to
Milton
communicate
said
that
it's not the man's job to police your baby. Well, Milton, you have a point there.
It's not. Not until he put a ring on and say he want to get serious. That's why I said they're dating, so we can leave it at that.
Collecting data. Which is what I always
So
Communicate.
y'all gonna post those in y'all?
Yes. All right.
Let's do that.
Okay, everyone, it is 9:15. Our time is well spent. We truly thank you for tuning in to My Sister's Keeper. And I'm going to turn it over to DeAndrea to lead us out with Put On Your
Crown, your jewel in crown. However, I want to say shout out. I did a show with Corey Espy. You can check that out on Facebook.
I thought we were closing out.
We put that on there. Again, condolences to the family, to the people that we've lost this week, to Terry Glenn's family, because they are here in Irving, Texas. To his 5 kids, and to Della Reese that we've lost, and to the many others that we've lost as well. Again, cherish every moment. And so as we close out, we look forward to seeing you again. Remember, we're here at first and third Mondays from 7 to 9.
Yes.
And
the next show, we will actually have Roderick Fields on, who will be talking about anxiety disorder, the disease. So please tune in. He's going to talk about his journey, that his diagnosis was not realized until he was at the age of 40, but as a self-reflection and through therapy, how it actually impacted his family. So please tune in. He's local from Dallas, Kimball Knight, so please tune in. You can actually find him on Facebook. I'll start putting stuff out on our page. You can also find him at Adolphus Roderick Fields. So please be sure to tune in on next December the 4th as we talk about anxiety disorder disease. Okay, I guess we're really going to close this
just
time.
remember to check out Nicky Hawkins, December 1st, December 2nd. Look at our Facebook page to get all that information. Again, thank you, Nicky and Destiny, for coming to be with us in our first hour on our show tonight. So, in closing,
What's our year-end show, the 18th? Have a recap?
I don't know.
our end show?
Yeah,
December
end of the year.
18th.
Oh, December 18th, yes.
Recap what?
We're gonna recap
Recap
our
all
first
our-
6 months.
For the
Yes.
year.
Yes.
We'll do a recap. We're going to kick off our New Year celebration. It won't be New Year resolutions, because every day should be a resolution.
Yes,
So
yes.
we're going to
That's the
begin.
longest day for a female, New Year's Eve.
What is?
New Year's Eve.
I sleep. It's not lonely for me.
Marathon. I don't care what nobody
We have so many events coming up. Thank you to those who tuned in tonight, and so to everyone listening.
That's the longest night for
Like, we go to church and we go to bed and we
Yes,
wake
watch
up.
night
Amen.
service.
Yes, yes.
Watch
And I
night
go to
service.
the first one, so I'm home by midnight. In bed by 10 o'clock. Sleep. Wake up the next day, eat my black eyed peas.
Oh, let's go.
So,
Yeah, I watch the ball drop right in my eyes.
those are goals. Those are hashtag no goals that we want. We still want to see it.
Oh, boy.
But, so, in closing, to my sisters, sometimes you have to forget how you feel and remember what you deserve. You are my keeper, and know that I am yours first. So straighten your crown. Never be afraid to stand out. Inhale confidence. Exhale doubt. Until next time, kings and queens, queens and kings, we are my sister's keeper. SiSSTa'S.